Hello and welcome to episode 33 of my Endwalker playthrough. We are still in Elpis. We have now met Venat. Or Venat. Apparently the T is silent. And we are trying to find out more about Hermes and oh good lord. Meteion. I forget her name. I'll remember once I've seen it written again. Venat is musing over your recent findings. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the Entelix, which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth. Except for Hermes, it seems. Thus, I am inclined to stay our current course and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his family, or familiar. And on that subject, was there aught else of note you can tell me about Meteion, aside from her unorthodox method of communication? They're more like her. She has sisters. She and her sisters were created to journey across the stars in search of separate life. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? So, these siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unsolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Prepenterus Crystallinus. That is way off, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west. Let us go. This is in the direction of an aether current that I can't remember if I actually went to grab. No, it was over there. I decided that we would eventually arrive there anyway, and I would get it later. And it seems I may have been right, although I just went right past her. I assume there's not one behind this building as well? Southeast, no. Just one where we expect it to be. This tower and the one further along are both part of Prepetia Crystalliana, the facility where they archive all of Elpis's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically connected spaces. Which, while fascinating, is not the reason we're here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lesson short and see what those two archivists have to share. If you could find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. Oh, if we're going over to the other tower, we may as well swing by this. Three left, if memory serves correct. You have a question or questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Indeed. So if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviours, we should then have sufficient data for our official records. Now, what was it you wished to speak with me about? Chief Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you mean Meteion. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a research trail or trial by one creator or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Meteion appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although, I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Galeen shared with me. Galeen is my partner and fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Meteion heavensward, a host of them. For several days she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. Sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Venat, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contributions to our concept placement protocols. Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Would you do me a favour, or would you favour me with a retelling of this sight which so delighted your Galeen? Of course. Or you could hear it from her lips directly, if you prefer. At present, she should be observing the subjects in Metabasos Thalias. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Venat. Even though such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved after a long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you've accumulated during your travels as Azem. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis of many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody the nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there is not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honoured. Well, shall we take this opportunity to meet Galeen in person? Then allow me to reconfigure the door to the archive here. It will take you onto the Skyway and spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That'll be most helpful, thank you. The other archivist said naught we hadn't already heard. This story of Gilan's sounds promising. That's on this island. I'll put it somewhere down here. Well, we're going to have to come back anyway because we don't have the last Ep33 quest, so when I do that, I'll get that. I have opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across to the next tower and ask for admittance on to the upper tier. Upon arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the Skyway and you will find yourself at the entrance of Metabasos Thalias. Galeen will be eager to share her tale with you, I'm sure. That's still in this island. The tower ahead is still part of the place we are at the minute. We will need to ask for passage through the upper, or through to the upper tier. Mistress Venat, just passing through. Then allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there is always an observer or two. There is always an observer or two out on the upper skyway. As this is the skyway. Is this skyway going to take us all the way across to here? No, the place we're going to is here. So what's all this? Because we do not have a path to there currently. So I want to have a look down. Have I seen... No, we have seen a vista in this place. How the hell did the sightseeing log know about that there was a vista in this place? That door leads to the Thalassis. But perhaps we can trouble this person for assistance with finding Galeen. Mistress Venat, I was not told to expect. We would have prepared an official welcome. Please, there's no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galeen, if that might be arranged. Yes, Galeen, of course. I will inform her immediately. But she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she is ready to receive us.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
A thought occurred to me. There's been some question as to whether or not we were tempered by Hydaelyn. I think generally speaking, the answer was we were probably not. But that's probably because the blessing that Venat imparts makes us immune to such tempering, which would mean that Hydaelyn is basically incapable of tempering.
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
It depends on where you look, but mostly yes. Some parts yes, others not so much. It's more beautiful here. Yeah, there's been a lot of devastation and there are still places that are basically desolate as a result.
Dark hidden places, rife with danger. Those have an altogether different, but no less powerful sort of appeal. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveller. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account. Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it. Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done. A passion swelled within me, an epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true, and a presence without, immense yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. As reassuring as it was intimidating, how keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day, so very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning, and my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way.
I just remembered something from earlier. We was told that Hydaelyn made a promise to someone, and I made a guess what that promise was. What if she made that promise to me? Or us?
You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Absolutely.
Pray forgive my lateness.
We keep getting interrupted at important moments.
My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteion. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, yes I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone, like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up, then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteion, the Meteion, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.
So, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes has or hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others, which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter is the more likely possibility. Proceed under that assumption until our next steps should be to divine why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Well, we know that Armon desired that fate. But again, we also know that Armon shouldn't have memories from before when he was in part of the in the convocation. And once again, not seeing an Aetherite quest, but we still have more to go. Venat has a new course of investigation in mind. I should like to visit the site from which Hermes sent forth Meteion. If we are fortunate, we might find some hint as to what drives this research of his. Galeen said she spotted them in the southeast, rising from the isle she could see from the edge. If we stand in the selfsame vantage spot, it should prove none too difficult to locate the island in question. Let's take a look, shall we? How far away is that? Other side of the island. I will see you there. Grabbing an Aetherite. We're down to 2? Yes, 2. Okay. North, that's in the place we can't get to yet. Be that one over there. Now, if I were conducting some mysterious search, where would I go? Ah, what about that one? Have you the means to fly? 'Tis quite the distance away. Not yet. You haven't given me the NPC Aetherite quest yet. MSQ Aetherite quest yet. Inconvenient, but hardly an insurmountable problem. To me, Argos. Argus, not Argos. It is not a UK catalogue company. My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Nathan over to that island? Dot dot dot. So this thing recognizes us from now, which is why it is so favourable to us in the future. Unless somehow it also is seeing the world without time and already recognises us. Stubborn creature. This is no place, or there is no place in this great star we have not together travelled, and still he remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argus is rather... Argus has rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. What? You've ridden him before? Ah, your before means my after. Not at all confusing, that. Interesting. 'Tis certainly not unthinkable. But speaking of the here and now, a quick solution for us is to face off in a sparring match. Demonstrate to him that you are capable of holding your own against me in battle, and you should convince Argus that you are worthy of his back. And besides, I might even teach you a thing or two in the bargain. You seem doubtful, but useful. You seem doubtful. But useful lesson or not, it will certainly be a moment to remember, and a memory of distant past to cherish. What say you, traveller out of time? Choose your battlefield. I will if I must. And if this memory turns out to be a bad one, to be fair, she is 5 times more rejoined than I am. But I imagine I have more combat experience? Nah, we're up for this. I admire your confidence. Clear your mind and prepare your weapons. I will await for you at the clearing over yonder. So as we went up to the bridge, in the back of my mind was, we've not had a duty for a while. When's the next duty going to be? What's the next duty going to be? This is almost certainly a duty. I would be very, very shocked if this is just a purple puddle on the ground. This feels like it should be a proper fight. Yep. Shall we begin? Be warned, I'll not go easy on you. Begin.
Let neither side hold back. My blade sings! My
God damn you.
blade sings!
Impressive. I shall have to try something different.
Oh, she's changed into a dancer. That's not fair! I'm not allowed to change class in the middle of a fight.
Have a taste!
I see you won't be easily overcome, but neither will I.
With a Margus staff. What kind of spellcaster? Black Mage? No, Conjurer. Okay, they're not as big as I thought they could be. Oh, they're going to go off multiple times.
Prepare yourself!
Here's one of these. So we could have just stayed there. It's a bit excessive, don't you think? You trying to kill me?
Very well. Let us move to the final trial.
Oh, god damn you. I moved so it would have these things move faster. $30, Nathan. You only need to do that at 30.
Break your chains, shed your burdens, and show me your strength of will!
Oh, that would hurt.
You still stand. The people of your time are more resilient than I had dared hope. I have seen enough.
If we had lost one more orb, we may not have.
Twas my intent to finish it, but clearly I underestimated you. One would think I never learn. I made the same mistake with Azem when we first sparred. Despite being less than half my age, his strength was astounding. As is yours. 'Tis plain you have weathered considerable hardship. Far more even than your tales would suggest. It seems we have both learned much on our journeys. Well now, I dare say he has warmed to you. A boon to be sure. He never forgets his favorites, and is ever eager to come to their aid.
He's a good dog. He's a good boy. We should probably call it there. We almost certainly don't have enough time for another one. Maybe we do. It depends on how long the next one is. Argus will soon have us stand in upon the very spot where Meteion made their departure into the night sky. With luck, we'll learn something of Hermes' intentions. My hope is that we'll find no connection, no festering wish for oblivion. Then we might have Hermes and his considerable expertise working for us, rather than against us. Excuse me, sorry. There's no Aether current here, so this isn't the last quest of the area. Okay, we'll most of the last episodes have been under 50 minutes, I think. So what's another one that's slightly over an hour? Let us move over to the edge before mountain, shall we? That will allow our Argus to catch the currents rising up from below and give us a smooth ride over to the island. I should have grabbed the other one up north. We are still, however, missing a... Oh, we're missing 2. That can't be right. No, I have only done 2. Yeah, we're missing 2 Aether current quests, so... climb onto Argus's back, and we can be off. You know, I honestly cannot remember the last time he carried anyone but me. Argus motions to his back with his muzzle. You have been given the go-ahead to hop on. Yes. Certainly is pleasant. Argus does Certainly seems to think so. Now, what was the name of that tree? Ni or no, something... You expect us to read that quickly? The no Telophor... That is very close to Telophoroi, but it's not quite. Quite a striking specimen, is it not? Noetophor. Brace yourself for a landing. I wouldn't want you to tumble at the last moment.
Quite a small place, lacking even the most basic equipment. The present may yield no clues, but we may yet try perusing the past. Have you done this before? So you cannot control the power freely. Worry not. I shall assist you. Come and stand before me. There are two ways to see the past. The first entails peering through the walls of the soul in the moment a subject is recalling a memory. The second requires no subject, and is instead a process of piecing together an event from ripples left in the ambient ether. As memories are etched upon the ether of the soul, so too are they etched upon the ether of the world. In this way can history be preserved. Such memories are given to fading, however, and can prove challenging to visit. But come, let us try. Close your eyes.
All units fully functional and proceeding on course towards their respective stars. Estimated time to completion of survey is 108 cycles. End of status report. Severing connection with shared consciousness.
108 cycles. When did Mikutsoma get here? I don't think we're that far back from the end of days, or the final days. So this, in theory, their return should have come in time before the first rejoining?
Did you hear that, Hermes? All is well.
Yes. Good tidings at long last. Every step of the way, I've been reminded how little we understand creation. How the universe defies imagination.
But soon we won't need to speculate. We'll know the answers. What others live for.
Indeed. And we'll owe it all to you and your sisters.
I wonder what answers we will get.
Whatever intelligent beings that exist out there are bound to be vastly different from us. Diverse in form and culture, possessed of unique ways of thinking. Their conception of life and its purpose will be no exception. Completely and utterly unlike ours.
Utterly unlike... How?
I have no idea. Yet whatever answers we receive, I will not dismiss them out of hand. No. I will think earnestly on them all, and I will share them with our people, that together we may contemplate our own existence. Perhaps then our star will become a better place. Not only for man, but for all life. Meteion, though I gave you wings to soar the heavens, I did not teach you how to walk the earth. So loath was I to bind another living being. In the course of your long journey, you will learn from those you meet, learn to walk and run and so much more. And when you return, older and wiser, we will have a celebration to mark your homecoming and coming of age both.
Will there be apples? Covered in syrup?
And how are you supposed to eat them? Rather than food, perhaps... a flower. Yes. Upon your return, I will gift you a beautiful flower.
So, what is your opinion?
Hermes wouldn't wish for the final days. Hermes is a gentle soul, and yet... I couldn't say just by this moment. He certainly doesn't wish for it currently. But what we know of him is that he does despair over how some of his contemporaries treat their creations, and that bothers him greatly.
I understand. He is a gentle soul, and well-intentioned. Yet it does not take ill intent to beget ill. We must consider the possibility that something may have gone awry. Perhaps it was oversight, or simply an accident. In light of this, I propose that we reveal your tale to Hermes himself. If he does not wish for the final days, as we believe, he may well join us in pursuing a solution. Then it is settled. Let us seek out our friend with all swiftness. 'Twould not do to let such a pure soul be blackened by tragedy.
I wonder... There's 3 ways this could go. Either we create a split timeline, but in the so doing we find out a way to save our world from the final days by effectively figuring out what caused it here. Our attempts to save the world here make no difference whatsoever and in fact set it in motion. Or we fundamentally change something here and that has an effect upon our world. The latter from a game development standpoint, is a massive pain in the arse and constant continuity problem. So they almost certainly won't do that. There are any number of places where Hermes might be in Elpis. But we could do worse than look in Christus Hyperboreus, the largest facility. It stands in the Ethoskeletal Borealis, the North Island. I wonder, Nathan, for an institution which came to studiously research every species destined for release in the world, do you not question how they find a room for them on so few islands? This has already been explained. They apparently have extra-dimensional spaces that are connected together. The answer lies within the Chrysis itself. I touched upon the practice before, back at the archive. There are vast areas that are stitched together out of multiple conceptual spaces. The same holds true for the interior of this facility and its magical constructed environments. It is there, within those sprawling habitats, that Chief Overseer and most of Elpis's observers conducted the bulk of their work. Good lord. Come. The simplest route is via the teleporter north of what was it? Pyaten Okos? Words, they're hard. Words are very, very hard. We only have one Aetherai yet, but we are still missing 2 quests. 2 quests. Which implies this is going to lead... It's not going to start, but it's going to lead to the next dungeon. Which gives me a task for after I have done this quest. We will grab that, we will grab this. We will grab that off the island. And then we shall continue on. These look mighty familiar. They almost look like the Animus. But I don't think they quite do. Are we allowed to use this? A mote of light yet hangs in the air, suggesting the device was but recently activated. Good. The teleporter acknowledges you as my guest. You should now have the authority to use it as you wish. As for the way to the Christus Hyperborealis, we follow this path and then turn left at the crossroads. Which is northwest, which is the direction of the Aether Current. Southwest, that way. I'll get it after this quest. Because I gotta do the other stuff anyway. Here we are, the grandest research facility in the Elpis. We should head inside and ask Hermes, or ask about after Hermes' whereabouts. Hi, Amixel. Hermes is at another facility, as we've just discovered. Furthermore, we have confirmed that his studies into Dynamis, as well as his creation of Meteion, were entirely private pursuits. No one else we spoke with appears to possess the chief's depth of knowledge on the subject, and neither did we hear any tales of stolen research. Which means that if Hermes himself harbours no desire to bring down an apocalypse, then he might be recruited to help prevent one. Or so saith the illustrious FFXIV. According to your story, the 14 divided the connection between the celestial currents, divined the connection between the celestial currents and the final days, but were never able to pinpoint the root cause of the calamity. With our people's greatest minds, not to mention Hydrophilis' sharp eye, committed to the pursuit of a solution, such an outcome seems inconceivable. The only possible explanation is if the nature of the catalyst was so inexplicable that we failed to perceive it, that even we failed to perceive it. And what better fits the description than the invisible, intangible dynamis? Which in turn leads us to our next question. How did Hermes, in his role as Vandaniel, not recognize the subject of his own research? We must assume that either he knew and was unable to help, or that he was otherwise prevented from identifying the cause in the first place. At this junction, all we can do is speculate. To be clear, the Convocation does not tolerate acts of deception or malice. We are practiced and perceived in truth, and would have known that had Vandaniel lied to us. Hermes has no conscious wish for the end of the world, of that I am certain. It seems there is more to the tale after all. We conducted an investigation of our own, you see. How comforting. We seem to have reached the exact same conclusion. I see no reason to delay further. 'Tis time we brought Hermes into the fold, as it were. Thanks for your understanding. He's going to say he's not doing it for us. Save your thanks. I did not say I believed your ridiculous story. But as FFXIV, I have a duty to examine the possible threat to our existence, no matter how ludicrous or personally offended or offensive I might find it. Okay, check. We have more than just the one quest left, but we do not have the time. Oh, if it's right there, then... See, we're already standing next to it. Alrighty then. With that, we shall call it a episode. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tomorrow, or rather, after I have refilled my mug and done the other Aetherite quests, we shall see if there is in fact a dungeon on this map. And if we are actually getting... Nah, we're not going to get to level 88 until we've had a dungeon. Because we know, by their standards, every dungeon is on the odd levels. So the next one is 87. We are approaching it, and that will take us to 88. And then we may actually start ending up with experience issues. But we shall see. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheerio.